Up this program for a WAVY News 10 special report.
Hello once again, I'm Nicole live as we are on your side with another update on Hurricane Sandy. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Don Slater and Meteorologist Tiffany Savona with the latest on conditions right now. Hey guys.
Miserable, how's that? However, they're not quite as miserable in terms of wind as what we earlier expected. So I think we're doing a little bit better in that regard. And also the rain has not progressed as far inland.
That's right. That is certainly some good news, and we'll take it at this point.
Yeah, go ahead, Tiffany, take it and show us what's going on.
All right, sounds good. We're taking a live look at Doppler 10 right now. See a lot of rain moving across the eastern shore and across Virginia and down into northeastern North Carolina. We'll check out some rainfall totals right now. These are just estimates, so you may have seen a little bit more at your house, but we could see anywhere between close to 3 inches toward Franklin and Ahoskie, around 2 inches closer to Outer Banks, and around the south side, some locations getting upwards of an inch. We'll check out the latest now with Hurricane Sandy. Maximum sustained wind 75 miles per hour, and Sandy will continue as a Category 1 hurricane later on tonight into tomorrow, and then it will continue to move off to the north and west, and it's going to take more of a northwesterly turn and likely make landfall somewhere between Delaware and New Jersey as it continues to bring a lot of rain and a lot of wind to our area. Now, Hurricane Sandy still dumping heavy rain across Delaware into Virginia and also into North Carolina. Notice this dividing line, though, some drier air trying to wrap in. That is why we're seeing really not much rain across the western half of Virginia. Now we are going to take a closer look at our DMA right here. Rain from Melfa all the way down to Norfolk, Elizabeth City, and into Hatteras. It seems like this dividing line is right along that I-95 corridor. So if you're traveling west of I-95, conditions really not that bad, but you're going to have to deal with the rain all across the coastline here. Forecast precipitation through Tuesday night, anywhere between 4 to 6 inches on average. The higher totals will likely be across the eastern shore and up into Delaware and New Jersey. And the eastern shore, that's where we are concerned the most about that tidal flooding. Next to high tides could be a problem in Kiptopeke, 8:37 p.m. tonight. However, tomorrow morning, that is when tides are supposed to be the highest. 8:58 a.m. Sewell's Point, 9:06 p.m. That is high tide tonight. 9:24 is high tide tomorrow. Duck, North Carolina, 7:20 tonight. But we are worried about tomorrow's tide, 7:41 a.m. That is when those tides will probably be the highest, especially since we are getting close to a full moon. This morning, 5.5 feet. That was what Kiptopeke was at. Tonight, we're looking at 5.5 to 5.8. Tomorrow morning, 6.4 to 6.9. So this is really to give you a rough estimate of what things look like this morning. This morning at Sewell's Point, we were at 6 feet. Tonight, 5.7 to 6.2. And tomorrow morning, tides even higher, 6.4 to 6.9. Looking at North Carolina, this morning, 6.7 feet. Tonight, we're expecting tides to get up to 6.8. And then tomorrow morning, even higher, 7.6 to possibly 8. Your 7-day forecast showing that the rain and the wind will continue on Monday. The rain will likely continue onto Tuesday, as well as that storm system slows down and moves over the Mid-Atlantic and New England. And then we are going to dry things out by Halloween.
Thank you, Tiffany and Don. And we have a team of meteorologists here covering this storm for you. Also crews all over the area covering, including Liz Palka. She is in the Hague section of Norfolk. And if you're familiar with Ghent, you know that always floods. How's it looking now?
Well, Nicole, check out some of the precautions that people who live around the Hague or are situated near the Hague are taking. This is a church behind me. They have the doors blocked off. They have cinder blocks and sand bags and black plastic across the door. Behind that church, there's a large apartment complex that's right next to the Hague. We were driving around the parking lot a little bit earlier. They've moved all their cars up. Some of the residents actually are parking as close to Brambleton Avenue as they can to make sure that their cars are not affected by this flood water. Now over here, here's where this is Mowbray Arch. This is where the flooding is still pretty bad. I'd say, I mean, if this isn't a foot, it's at least 10 inches, and I'm near the curb. in the middle of the street, it's very high. I've seen one car get through this area, and it was a very large SUV. A lot of people are having to turn around in this area. Of course, the tide is low right now. In this intersection earlier, we were out here earlier this morning from about 5 to 8. You couldn't get through this intersection of Grace Street and Memorial Place by the Chrysler Museum of Art. I tried to walk through it around 6:30 and had to turn around and go the other way. So, of course, the tide is lower right now. I will say the most shocking thing just being out here from earlier this morning is how fast it does rise, how just the streets are flooding out completely. So if you can avoid this area when the tide is higher, or even right now, just point given right here that you cannot get through with some of this water spilling over. That's all we have from here, live in Norfolk. I'm Liz Palka, 10 on your side.
Great tips there, Liz, as they tell you, turn around, don't drown. Think something to remember when we have this flooding out here. And we also have Ann McNamara out there in Norfolk, but she's in a different section for us. She joins us now from Ocean View via Skype technology. How are things out there, Ann?
Well, Don put it best. It's just miserable. That doesn't mean we have to be. We've met a lot of great people today in really bad situations. We waited out to them to see what their cars were like when they were stuck in the middle, a couple feet deep. We also waited out to them to talk to them through the window of their apartment complexes. People are stuck inside their apartment complexes in Ocean View. And what they do is they wait till the low tide comes so they can actually get out. And then they don't plan on coming back. We're seeing significant flooding in all the old familiar places around 19th Bay, also over in Willoughby, significant flooding. That's where the apartment complexes are pretty much trapped in that area. I heard someone on Facebook say the Little Bay isn't so little today, and that's exactly right. It's only expected to get worse as the high tide comes in tonight. We've also seen firefighters going door to door. They're just doing welfare checks, just letting people know what the situation is, letting them know where the flooding is. Another major flooding area I want to mention is right where Granby Street meets Ocean View Avenue. That's one of the main ways to get into Ocean View. That is blocked off at this time. So again, all the old familiar places, if you know the area, the low-lying places are seeing a lot of water, and they're expecting more with the high tide. People who don't usually leave their homes tell me they're thinking about it this time, guys.
All right, Ann, thank you so much. You mentioned Facebook, and yes, I've seen a lot of pictures from the Ocean View area posted on our Facebook page, WAVY TV 10. So be sure to tune in. We're going to break away here for a minute, but make sure you follow us on Twitter and Facebook and use hashtag WavySandy, and we'll be back in about a half hour with another update.
This has been a WAVY News 10 special report. We now return you to our regularly scheduled program already in progress.